Here are two book titles: A Belle in Brooklyn, the go-to guide for living your best single life, that's one, and Don't Waste Your Pretty, the go-to guide for making smarter decisions in life and love. The same woman who wrote them, the very same woman you just saw in Blood, Sweat, and Heels promo, is here with us in the studio.
And on top of everything else she does, Demetria Lucas Doyley has also founded a life coaching service called Coached by Belle, aimed at dealing with dating dilemmas and building healthy relationships. So let's meet Demetria now. Welcome, Demetria.
Hello.
Thank you very much
welcome.
for being here. Let us gaze upon you.
Thank you, guys.
I want to first talk about the reality show and get it out of the way if we can, and then talk about your services. What is the #1 aspect of being on a show like that people who watch it might not necessarily know that goes on behind the scenes?
There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. You know, if you're sitting in your apartment and they're filming, there are 2 big cameras in your face. There's lighting above you. You're mic'd. There's producers all around. So it's not just you and just a camera. It's a whole production behind the scenes.
Is anything actually scripted? They say this to this.
They don't tell you what to say, but they'll say, we want you to discuss, you know, a certain topic. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so if they say they want you to discuss a certain topic and there's something that you would also like to discuss, you know, how do you think that reality TV plays into, you know, women such as yourself who are trying to build their brand?
You know, I think if you play it smart, you can definitely make something out of it. But you just have to be very careful about how you represent yourself. So you can talk about something, you can have an offhand conversation, but you really don't know how it's going to be spun on TV. There are so many things that happened this season. You know, it appeared one way in life, it appeared another way when it aired. So, you know, you're really at the mercy of the editors.
And how much of that is actually just for the cameras? Like, let's say 2 of your fellow cast members are spewing hate at each other, and then do the cameras go off and everything's hunky-dory? Is that the case often, or?
No, when you see the conflicts on the show, genuinely people don't like each other.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's not for TV.
You have to check out that show. Now, you're a dating relationship expert, a life coach expert. In terms of dating and relationship, now, Aaron has a lot of questions for you. I'm just kidding. What is the #1 issue people come to you with regards to advice about dating and their relationship life?
I think the #1 question from women is where all the guys are. Everyone wants to know, like, you know, how do I meet men? Where do I meet men? And my primary advice to them is stop going places looking for this batch of single, gorgeous, educated men. Like, it doesn't work that way. You meet more people walking along the street, just because we live in New York. We're, you know, a pedestrian city. You meet more people just walking around or standing in line or on the train than you ever will going to a place. So, you know, keep your eyes open, take those headphones out, and, you know, smile when you see somebody cute. We don't really do that in this city.
Yeah.
Smile. Just
Smile.
a really simple thing.
Very much so. And, you know, I find that, you know, when women do it, they come back and report, and they're just like, okay, so like the cute guys are coming, but the crazies are coming. I'm like, no, smile at the cute ones. Don't just smile at everyone. You gotta be, you know, careful about it.
Where do you tell women to go to meet these men? You're recently married. Where did you meet your husband?
I met my husband on the subway.
Okay.
I was on the 3 train headed to work like 4 or 5 years ago, and yeah, there he was.
He approached you.
He did.
How did that go down? What did he say?
There's a backstory, but the short version is I'd gone out the night before, and he walked up and he said, "Hey, were you at, you know, Butter last night?" And I was like, "I was," and I thought, like, how many cocktails did I have that I missed this beautiful man? But he sat down next to me
Is
and
that really
started
what you
talking.
thought? You didn't think, like, get away from me? You like?
No, my husband's gorgeous.
I know,
and I was
no,
just
I
like,
believe you.
and I was like, no,
believe you.
an attractive man speaking to me, like, and I looked so bummy that day, but an attractive man speaking to me, and I was like, oh, hello, how are you? Yeah, I fell right in the line. I smiled. I smiled.
I gotta ask you about the book, Don't Waste Your Pretty. Now, clearly you were not wasting your pretty, but what do you mean by that?
The pretty is a euphemism for all the things that women give forth in relationships. So our time, our energy, our support, our cooking, our praying, our, you know, cleaning, whatever we bring to the table. When women really like someone, and guys do too, but we go all in. But sometimes we do it for the wrong person. So Don't Waste Your Pretty is acknowledging that you have a lot to offer, that you shouldn't take it for granted, and that you should only offer it to someone who's showing some reciprocity.
I have specific, you know, relationship questions.
It's like I got a
in
list.
the control room. Is it ever okay to be friends with an ex?
You can be if you genuinely are friends. If you're just there waiting for him to come around and see if, you know, you guys can rekindle something, then you're not really friends.
So it really is. I mean, like, you can have exes at your wedding and stuff like that. Did you have any exes at your wedding?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Did he?
No, absolutely not.
I doubt it.
Okay.
We had a small wedding
Ask
of
and
friends
answer.
and family. Friends and family.
Okay. Oh, another. I know, there's
Keep
more.
going.
If you're in a committed relationship with somebody and they have pictures of them with an ex on their Facebook page, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with Facebook in general? I mean, you know, go ahead.
So
answer
in
that.
general, I tell people it's probably not a good idea to follow your partner. No one is perfect. There's all sorts of innuendos that sometimes not even the person your partner is doing, but people might respond to. It just makes it messier than it needs to be. Trust your partner to make good decisions and deal with him or her in the real world. But in terms of, you know, like having the ex's picture still up, not if we're still committed. They got to come down.
Thank you. I have so many questions. That's what interests me. I'll ask you more off camera.
Okay.
You know, the
Let's
one
talk more
question,
about you.
The one question I do want to ask is how many baby moms is too many, but we'll get to that question.
I tell you that question
later.
comes up a lot. So
Now, you're originally from down south.
I'm from Maryland.
Yes, I'm from Maryland as well.
Oh,
Baltimore.
yay.
Can you tell us what your experience has been like in moving to Brooklyn and how Brooklyn may be a little different dating-wise?
Yeah, so I've been in Brooklyn since 2000. So I came of age here. I went to college here. In the way that it's different from DC, I would say, or DC or Maryland, everyone here is a little more driven. And not to say that DC people are not, but you get a lot of type A personalities here. You've moved from a lot of transplants, you've moved from somewhere else, and you're just focused on getting your career. You spend most of your 20s, most of your early 30s just working, and then one day you wake up and you're just like, hey, I forgot to get in a relationship or get married or have kids or any of that. So a little more not as focused on dating. And we got a lot of options here.
It's
It's a lot of people.
The Bell in Brooklyn,
yeah,
I understand.
It's just physically more people here, and so you meet someone and you're just like, yeah, that's great, but I could probably do better. And so you're just kind of hopping around. But at some point you just have to, you know, decide like this is the person I want to make it work with, and just, you know, you guys both have to dedicate yourselves to doing that.
And what do you think about the way Brooklyn is changing? Like, do you see gentrification playing into like people's lives and, you know, relationships in a certain way?
You know, one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing, I live in Crown Heights, and I've lived there for several years. A lot of my friends are having to move out of the area, and they're having to move further into Brooklyn. They're moving into Queens because the rents are going up. And you end up with these, you know, these cross-borough relationships, but you don't have a car. Like, Brooklyn to Queens is a big deal.
Yes,
Brooklyn to the Bronx is a huge situation. So a lot of my friends are sort of doing that, and they're trying to avoid just moving in for, like, the rent purposes. But, yeah, that's one of the issues that's going on right now.
Okay. You have so many different things going on, author, blog. You know, what's on the horizon for you now?
You know, there's a really big thing, and I can't discuss it yet because I have to wait for the contract to be signed.
Okay, fair enough.
You're like a week early.
You just have to come back and
I'll
let
just
us
have to
know.
come back
You have to come back.
and
You're
talk
going to
about
forget
it.
about us when you
No.
sign that contract.
Plus,
right?
we need advice.
It's like we need advice.
We need some advice.
My pleasure. I would love that.
Okay, great. Well, Don't Waste Your Pretty is the book.
Yes.
Blood, Sweat, and Heels. I'm going to check it out now. I'm sorry, I've never checked it out.
You'll love it.
I will.
You'll love it.
I will. And where do people find you online? Your blogs and things like that?
They can follow me on my blog at abelinbrooklyn.com. That's Bell with an E. And they can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at AbelMBK.
Demetria, you're awesome.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to meet you. Thank you very much for being
Thank
here.
you. I appreciate it.
Because I love it so much.
Yes.
Oh, would you sign these?
I would love to sign them, yes.
So many more questions off the air. Demetria, thank you. Come back again soon, won't you, please?
Yes, I will.
I'm gonna go
Thank
on the
you.
website right now.
Yeah.